Alright, should we bring it in?
Hell yeah, brother, let's bring it in. It's Music Monday. Yeah. Welcome back.
WB.
Yep.
To MM. Oh, good. It's gonna. So my computer's restarting, and now it's gonna open every app.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woo!
I'm listening. I'm sorry. Hi, everyone.
I kind of just forgot that we were doing it.
Good. And the Wi-Fi can't be joined, so that's banging. Maybe let's give it a second. Maybe we should retry that again in a minute once I get this to work.
So, guess what, guys? This week, we're talking about the Wallows.
The Wallows.
Just Wallows. There's
The
no
Wallows.
There are 3 band members. Braden Lemasters, he's guitar and vocals. Cole Preston is drums. And Dylan Minette is guitar and vocals. They first formed as a musical group when they were children, which they are still children. Like they're like in their early 20s, I think.
So that means we're also children?
Yes, we are children. I'm fully a child.
Yeah.
They met in a music program in Southern California called Join the Band. And then over the course of the next decade, they performed together using different band names. And then they also played the 2011 Warped Tour. So they've been around for a while.
Did Chris go to that?
That's probably the one he slept through.
Probably.
They're based in LA because Dylan and Braden are both actors. Braden's a voice actor, and he was also in Men of a Certain Age. And then Dylan is like the main reason that the band's so popular because he's in 13 Reasons Why as like one of the main characters. I think his name's Cole. Cole in the show, I think. They're signed to Atlantic Records. They have roughly 2.2 million monthly listeners and roughly 227,000 followers on Spotify. So yeah, they're decently popular.
Yeah,
which is good for a band like this. I feel like these like indie rock.
It's getting harder to get into that scene, I feel like, because that's what everybody listens to now.
Yeah, it's pretty saturated at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know, I asked Taylor, I was like, who do they remind me of? And she goes, every band that makes music like this. And I'm just like, yeah.
You're right.
Because like, I was trying to pinpoint it, but I'm like, there's not a single band because I'm like, oh, there's like has some moments where it sounds like Tame Impala, and then it has some moments where it sounds like Beach Fossils, and then it has some moments where it sounds like this, and I'm just like, yeah, no, they're just an indie band.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah, absolutely. So today we're talking about their first studio album called Nothing Happens. It released March 22nd, so last Friday. Yeah, I think it's a good album.
I do too. I mean, this is like. I'm that girl, and this is the kind of music that I listen to, and I mean, it's right up my. I enjoyed it. Like, there was nothing. Like, I don't know if I would continually listen to their music just because I already have my bands in that genre that I like and listen to, and they don't bring anything new or different to that area of my life.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. It's just like I have the bands that I like that have their. They don't have. I mean this nicely. They don't have as unique of a sound as some other bands in that area that I listen to. So I would rather listen to the bands I already listen to.
Yeah.
You know, but they're still really good.
Something that I liked, but I'm also putting that with like a parenthesis, like a question mark in parentheses after saying liked about the album is that it feels like every song was made for a soundtrack. Like every single song, every time it plays, I can see a movie playing behind it. I don't know if that's good for an entire album.
Yeah. However, that movie is one of those new Netflix originals where the guy loves the girl, but it just doesn't work out. But then they find each other.
Yeah.
So it's like soundtrack, cool, not for a good movie though.
Yeah, it's for like a teenage rom-com.
Yeah.
Like they're in high school.
Noah
Centennial.
Centennial. I don't know what. I saw a new commercial for another movie he's in that's just pretty much the same thing as every movie that he is in, and he was just like, Or that's his acting. He's like,
Yeah. Well, he started on Disney, so what can you say?
Yeah.
But I also think it's like good rock. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was doing the Disney.
You did it backwards. I think it starts in this corner.
Oh, does it? Wait, hold on, look at the. I gotta find the corner.
Please trace this. You're editing.
Oh, do you think I have that much time on my hands?
Why did you give him 3 ears? You gave
Where
him
did it
3
go?
ears.
No, this part was the hump. That was his head.
Yeah, but you went.
And then it ended here for some reason. Like,
I'm so glad.
I don't know how to make that happen in post, but I want to really try.
Can one of our fans do it for us?
Anybody who knows how to edit that? Well, I mean, we can just ask us film majors. Hey, how do we edit this?
Hey, how do we do our job?
Oh God. That's why I can't get hired anywhere. I'm gonna stay with my leg like this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do it.
So
I like that they collab with Claro.
yeah, I feel like I've heard of her.
She's wild. She's really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. She's
like fucking 15 years old or something like that.
Yeah, at first, like the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, is this gonna be like one of those girls? But like it wasn't, and I was pleased. I liked it. I liked that song. Which one was that? I don't remember. I feel like I'm screaming, but I also can't really hear myself.
Oh, I'm on blend.
Too loud.
Too loud. 1 second, please. Are you bored yet?
Are you bored yet? Yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed that one. I also like. Here's another kind of a thing that I liked and a thing that I have an issue with a little bit.
Yeah, she's 20.
Well, I'm going nowhere.
Also known as DJ Baby Benz. That's me.
My DJ name is DJ Trying Her Best, but not really doing that well. Trying her best, but generally confused.
I'm gonna put you in my phone as DJ Trying Her Best.
Please. You're in my phone as Taylor.
I'm good.
I should get a new one. We should find something else. We'll find something else. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. So one thing that I like when songs go right into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, but there's a way to do that, and I don't think they nailed it because they do it on some, but not all of them. So it's either you have to make the whole album flow as one thing, or you don't do that.
I also like. While I love an album with killer transitions, like Amine's last album, every song had, like, the transitions would flow into the next song, and that's super cool. But if you listen to one song on its own and mixed into, like, a playlist that doesn't have those songs around it, it sounds weird.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
agree.
where did this come from? Where did it start? Why did it happen
Where
this way?
did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from? Hey, no,
Transitions are weird.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just like, I feel like this genre, because I mean, like, one album that I always compare transitions to is Queen 2, which obviously nobody can do anything like Queen can. But this one, like, the first 2 songs transition, and it's like, this genre of music I don't think calls for that, because it's already such a, I love indie music, I'm a stupid bitch, but it's just like, it's kind of like it's just kind of, there's not as much up and down as, like, say, other genres. And so, if, like, there's already not a lot of variety in the songs, so then if you, I just feel like my voice is being weird. Okay. But so if you come out, what am I saying? If you use transitions in this genre, it takes away what little variety you have. There it is. I found it, and I got there, and we did it, and we're here, and we're living.
So proud of you.
Thank you. Also, I think I wore this shirt like 2 episodes ago.
My shirt has apples on it.
Happy birthday!
What?
That's the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't know why. Because it's Aries season, bitch.
It is Aries season, bitches. I'm an Aries.
I'm a Virgo.
My favorite song, Scrawny.
Scrawny motherfucker with a cool hairstyle. Yeah, that's a good one.
I just liked it because it's kind of funny.
It is funny. What did I say mine was? Remember?
I don't know. I don't think you decided.
Remember when? No, it was remember when.
Oh yeah.
And then my computer shit itself.
I'm gonna write that so I don't forget to put it in.
Oh yeah, we haven't been tweeting our Friday faves. You know what?
Well, you know what? Sometimes I still forget, even though it's
okay.
down to 2 songs a week now.
Here's the thing. If anybody who actually listens to that just knows that it updates every Friday, so like, get out of my face.
There's like 8 people that follow it, but I'm not sure that 8 people actually listen to it.
It's probably like I don't even listen to it that much, and I'm a piece.
I don't
of
listen
shit.
to it ever, so.
I remember we were laying by the pool over the summer when we first started, and we were playing it, but it didn't really have that much on there yet, and it was like Bon Iver and then like rap music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was something.
Yeah, it went straight from Bon Iver to Rizzle Kicks, which is hysterical.
What else?
Oh, I was gonna say, something that I liked about it is I've been kind of getting into bedroom pop lately.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot, like with Still Uzi and people like that. And it almost had like a bedroom pop kind of feel to it, but
Mm-hmm.
mixed with indie rock, and that's why I kind of liked it. But I think that's also what gave it this feels like it should be a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Feel.
Yeah, and it's just, I feel like I'm kind of shitting on this album, which I don't mean to. I really liked it, so I'm not trying to be like gross. But do I sound weird? I'm sorry. I feel like I can hear in my headphones, but I feel like it's far away.
I sound kind of weird too, unless I'm all the way up here, and then it sounds like I'm drowning. I also look like I'm drowning today.
I just really hope that it doesn't sound like shit in there, but if it does...
I mean, the levels look fine, so we're good.
Yeah, I just feel like there's some kind of echo of some kind.
We're gonna hope for the best. If this audio sounds like shit, you guys will get over it.
Yep. Anyway, so... what was I saying? Oh, I feel like I'm not intentionally... I'm not, like, shitting on this album because I didn't like it, because I did. I just...
Constructive criticism.
Yes, the thing
As if
is...
they're gonna listen.
With indie music, and this is coming from the girl who has multiple playlists of different indie moods, okay? Sometimes it's hard for them to hold a lot of water on their own. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way, but like you said, the whole soundtrack thing, it's like, this is not an album that I would sit and like really just be in.
Yeah.
This is like, I have my, oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm about to say this, and please punch me in the face when I'm done. I have my salt lamp on. I have my oil diffusing, and I have my overhead bulb a-glowing, okay? This is what's playing.
This is what's playing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For me.
This is more, I think, because it has that, I never know what to call it, that like summertime bubbly guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as more of like a
boppily
kind of
what I like to do is, you know how my room is.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's like my bed over here, and then my desk is on like the other side. You can't see that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And I like to leave my laptop over on my desk with like 2 volume notches up, and then just have like music playing. And like this is the kind of music that I would turn up only 2 notches and just barely be able to hear, and then just be like under my weighted blanket, just like.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
I mean, like, I listen to this kind of music when I do, like when I'm chilling and it's quiet, it's relaxing. But when I don't want to relax, it can also be louder. Everything I say is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm about to die. I've had a week. I've had
away from
2
me.
weeks that have just beat the shit out of me.
Guys, we have a month left of school, and then we're done, so.
And then we have to somehow be employed somewhere, which I've applied to like 8 jobs and not a single person has responded to
I
me.
keep finding jobs and then getting overwhelmed when I open my cover letter,
That too.
and then I just don't apply to any more jobs.
Yeah, that too.
And I'm like, ugh.
I'm
Yeah.
scared.
I'm just so scared. I'm baby.
I'm baby. Okay, we watched 2001: A Space Odyssey the other day in class, and you know at the end when it has the big
Where
baby.
Are you going with this?
I'm telling you, at the end where the big baby's like, bum, bum, I was just like, oh, baby.
I saw a picture. It was like, what the fuck don't you understand about I'm baby?
Did you see the wrinkly like baby doll holding a gun? It's like, wait, and it just said I'm baby.
Yeah.
What part of I'm baby don't you understand? Where did that come from?
I don't know, but I'm glad.
I love it. I'm baby.
I said, I'm baby to Evan, and he says, yes. And I said, you're baby? And then he just never texted me back.
Good.
For like 4 hours.
Good.
And I was like, okay.
Good. I texted Luke ILY this morning because I stayed at his house last night, and then I left, and I texted him ILY, and then an hour and a half later, he responded. And I was like...
Last night, my goodnight text to Evan was a link to a reusable Q-tip.
Oh my god. They have reusable Q-tips?
They're creating one, and it like has this little case, and it like sanitizes itself.
Wow.
And like all you have to do is rinse it off, because 1.5 billion Q-tips are disposed every day.
That's disgusting.
Because are you one of those sadists that uses 2 Q-tips? One for each ear?
I don't Q-tip as much as I should.
I don't think you're supposed to Q-tip.
You're not. No, I don't. I use one end and then I use the other end.
I really dig it in there. Oh, I love Q-tipping.
I don't really, unless I'm like feeling gross, I don't normally do it.
My ears are very waxy.
Yeah, I don't really have that problem. But yeah, I don't think you're not supposed to stick things in your ear.
No.
So.
Not supposed to stick anything smaller than your elbow in your ear.
You know what?
What if I had really pointy elbows and I was like, everything
Your
goes.
elbow was like,
it's like a Q-tip just sticking off my elbow.
that's disgusting. Oh my god, speaking of things sticking off other things, Luke and I were watching Frozen Planet last night. I have a confession.
Okay.
I didn't really know that narwhals were real until yesterday.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
And I was like, oh wait, they're real? And Luke was like,
yeah.
and I was like, oh. Also, there was one night, this is another story. We're not talking about the album anymore, but that's what happens.
This is what they expect.
So we were watching Jeopardy, because we've been watching a lot of Jeopardy and like trying to answer the questions, which I don't know any of them. I do know a couple of them. We watched the kids tournament, but I don't know anything else. And there was one, the answer was cells, like what are plants and animals made of? And the way I was 2 glasses of wine in, and the way I interpreted it, I was thinking of like a specific animal that was like also a plant that was also an animal. So I went, Venus flytraps? And then Luke goes, do you think we're made up of Venus flytraps? And I was like, oh, wait. He's like, it's fucking cells. And I was like, oh, yeah. And now he keeps asking me if I remember saying that we were made of Venus flytraps. And I'm like, yes, I remember. Stop reminding me. That's all.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, should we talk about what we're doing next week? Because
I'll let you talk about that.
we got a weird episode come for you next week. So we're doing something a little different.
Different. Get excited.
So one of my teaching assistants, well, he's my actual teacher, but he's a grad student. We've worked in multiple productions together. And the other day he was talking about this old band that he used to be in, called the Ronald Reagans. And I was like, you want to be on my podcast? And he was like, yeah. And then I like messaged him and I was like, if you like actually want to be on the podcast, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, we're cool with that.
Yeah. And he was like, okay. And so like, we're gonna have Matt Duncan on the podcast next week. I don't have any pictures of Matt Duncan.
Just put one of him on here.
I don't think I have any.
Well, you can.
I can go find one. Yeah, I guess.
On the internet.
Yeah.
On the internet.
Without his permission. Hi, I screenshotted your Instagram. Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. So he's actually going to talk about 2 bands that he is in. Was in. Neither of these bands are a thing anymore. But we just thought it would be fun to have him talk. Like, we've never had an actual musician talk about their musical journey on here. So we thought it would be fun. And he goes here, so like, why not? Yeah. I am going to give a disclaimer because he gave me this disclaimer. He said that there are a couple songs on there that may have some questionable content. And so he says that he did not write those. He does not support the views of those songs. And so I haven't listened to those yet, but just so you know, if you guys were to listen to that and there were any views that were, he called him morally degenerate.
Yeah.
We don't support those. We support good things, and so I don't know. I can elaborate more on what those are yet, because I don't actually know what the views in these songs are.
And he might want to talk about it next week. We don't know.
Yeah, well, and I said I would send him the document, and he could talk about. I said you can just talk about whatever you want. He goes 20 minutes about how I drank a lot, and I was like, sure,
That's fine with me.
great. So yeah, that's what we're doing next week. It's gonna be super fun. Matt's a really cool guy, and he's excited to be on the podcast. He keeps asking me about it, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that's what's next week.
Cool.
Tune in for the Ronald Reagans / Lamplighter Boys, I think is what the other one was called. I don't know.
In the meantime, you guys can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Also YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, all of the above, all of the under. You can listen to our Friday Fames playlist.
Did you say all of the under?
Yes, indeed.
Excuse me.
So next week, we have Matt talking about his bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one last thing to say. Have a musical Monday.
Bitch.
Bye.